All right, we're back for the last bit. Now, here's an important question I have to ask all of my characters. Do you have anything else to do in the library?
I mean, I hit my main research topics. I didn't get what I found, but I wasn't really expecting.
Only other thing I would look maybe into is if they have any information on shapeshifters.
Sure. I mean, if you would look into that, I'll just tell you, it's probably stuff on the basics of most shapeshifters within Dominaria fall under the purview of Vesuva.
Okay.
I mean, like, it'll probably also mention things like they're like the werewolves of the north. They're shape changers of some kind. There are other things that change forms here and there, but like something like you doesn't really exist within Dominaria.
Right. No, I was just figured they're probably not going to have anything on horrible Phyrexian experiments.
Yeah. I mean, like, there could be, like information on there was an influx of artificial shape changers that were created at the years after the apocalypse. Assume that they were created as beings to possibly infiltrate Dominaria and begin the invasion.
And I did read that. Yeah. I got some of their terrible experiments in my research.
Yeah, they had sleeper agents that they would use shape changing. Normally they would change someone into one form to hide themselves. Yeah. Multiple forms.
I was an advanced test.
Yeah. You were effectively trying to create maybe like a different type of doppelganger.
Yeah.
Doppelgangers from that time period, some did exist, but most of them were died out just from the war itself, or from effects of the destruction of Yawgmoth and the disconnect from Phyrexia might have been keeping them originally alive.
I know that I kind of jokingly said romance novels, but are there novels in this library?
There probably is. There probably is some actual, like, fiction in here. Various stories. There probably is some trashy romance. Yeah, I'll say, like, there's some, like, trashy romance novels, probably. Probably not, like, a huge selection of them, but you could probably find some.
I'll read some trashy romance.
Most of them seem to be, like... There's, look at this, a weird section of just, like, what you would call probably merfolk romance, which is a little odd.
What the?
Not that.
There's also, like, probably, like... It seems most of the books that are translated that are here are specifically merfolk, or seem to be romance novels that involve with merfolk. There seems to be maybe like half a dozen non-merfolk related romance or let's say half a dozen. There seems to be a small section, we'll just say, that seems to be more based on the story is important rather than the romance, I would say.
That's a little disappointing, but to be expected. Very well. I'll continue my search for cheap smut elsewhere.
All right. All right. Anything else you want to look up, or are we just going to kind of push forward in time? Okay, you'll spend some time. Karen, you will be able to spend every day there. Lutula will go with you every day.
So much reading.
Mm-hmm. If you ask her, she'll come along.
Absolutely. As much time as I can possibly spend in that library, I spend.
Hey, Max, she's spending more time with your girlfriend than you are.
How could this happen?
How could this happen to me?
But anyway, so yeah. It'll be about a week when the rest of you, kind of having done your share of time in the library, will get a message telling you that the Emperor wants to meet you again.
When does he want to meet us?
The next day. It'll give you, like, it'll probably come in the evening again, telling you to meet with the Emperor the next day.
Okay. I'll get a good night's rest and try to look my best in the morning. And by my best, I mean my scaliest.
Mm-hmm. Shift yourself up through shape changing. Mm.
Extra grandfather look.
You made it just so much more creepy, man. So much more creepy.
Back in my day.
He's just like, I'm gonna be an old man.
I am an old man. You just can't tell.
That's true. I don't know. You don't technically age, so you can't really be old.
I've existed an extremely long time. I'm old.
You are old in age, but not an old man. You don't have that. You don't have that same mentality of like, it's time for some applesauce and hang around and watch it and drink some more pinochle. Maybe watching some Matlock on the tube. Do you enjoy Matlock while playing pinochle and enjoying some applesauce? There you go. You're old. Anyway, Emperor. So next morning, rather than going to the library, yeah. You'll all head to meet with the Emperor again. It's returning to where you had been before. A journey through the building, escorted up to the same center. Rather than being kind of at the little kind of round seating area, though, the Emperor will seemingly be up with a number of individuals that he seems to be in a meeting with. One includes a very and kind of elderly-looking merfolk, who you can tell is old because he's got this kind of like interesting it's a beard, but it's different than your average beard because it almost looks like it's made out of like kind of like spines, except they've just kind of grown out of his chin like in like a way to kind of like cover it.
Is it coral?
No.
Is it barbels like on a catfish?
It's kind of like a beard of barbels almost, I'd say, more like.
I know my fish.
Mm-hmm.
My name.
At least they're not
one.
He also actually has this like kind of what looks to be a staff made of like stone and coral with inlays of some kind of like metals in it that he's actually like kind of like as he's kind of floating there, he actually is having it like down on the ground, like almost like he's like leaning on it to support his like his posture maybe more. So it's similar to like how like an old man would use the staff to hold himself up, except in this case it's kind of like hold himself upright.
I'll give a bow when we enter.
Ah, you're here. Ah, Nim, my friend. Good to see you again. Yes, excellent. So, is this the individual here that's going to be casting spells on my friends? Yes, I wasn't going to get that to right away. I discussed it with other individuals, and should you have the magic cast on you, we see no reason not to allow you to travel very easily to Tolaria Under the Sea. It seems as if you've been respectful within the library.
We appreciate that.
So the older merfolk with a kind of barbel beard would kind of turn towards you all and kind of like with this kind of like almost like chewing motion, which you can kind of see like he's got like this weird combination of teeth that like some of them look very much like human, like the ones in the front, like he's got like the kind of like crushing teeth in the front, and that goes to kind of a number of like very sharp teeth after that, kind of like in the middle, leading back towards where his molars would be. So it's kind of like this weird combination of sharp, like rather than just have fangs, he's got like a set of like 3 teeth around where the fangs would be on either side, and so he kind of chews his jaw open. Ha! So you're the folks. Alright then. I shall work my magic upon you all. To each of them, he will go and do this entire thing, overseen by Nim. You of the surface, you of the travelers, I bind you to this promise, a bound to those of Vidalia. Friends or enemies matter not, only that thine will, in this case, serve Vidalia. Serve it in the will of knowledge. The secrets that you seek, the secrets that you learn of our very kind, should not be revealed in any nature, word, or action. You will carry these secrets till thine grave, when thine existence from this world in its current form ends, whether that means an end to unlife or life. Once thy spirit has departed this realm forever, let the knowledge be free to flow. Until that day, my words will bind you and seal you. Do not speak, do not say those words. The mysteries shall be ours to know. The dangers shall be yours to feel. And the hunters shall seek thine flesh, blood, and bone. Until the day you are nothing. So, I say unto you, Vidalia, the great empire under the sea, be protected. Vidalia, the great empire under the sea, be upheld. And know this. With these words you may choose friend or foe in your soul, and those a friend shall seek great power here, and those that say foe, know you will only be welcome back if a friend brings you. Your souls will not lie, your spirits will not lie, the magic be ingrained. So he'll also then take his hand, as his staff is kind of also going to kind of glow with this kind of like bluish white energy, as he's kind of like gonna like almost like caress like the head of the staff, which is this kind of like twisted shell, and pull off the energy, and it almost looks like it would be some kind of ink then covering his fingers. And then he's kind of like manipulated, and on each of you right here, like on your chest, he's going to draw something with his fingers. And you will then see like this emblem kind of appear. And then it will kind of fade into you.
So my question is, does that mean if we die and then someone casts Speak with Dead on us, we can tell them all about the good stuff?
No, because your corpse is not technically Speak with the Dead, doesn't actually speak with the dead, it speaks with an echo of the dead. And your echo would not be able to do it.
Damn.
Now that was specifically so long as we stay on Dominaria.
Yeah. Technically speaking, as long as your spirits remain within Dominaria.
So if we leave Dominaria and then send a message back to Dominaria, it's chill.
You can try to get around it that way. You're not sure how that would work, though.
We just, planar teleport, take
the
someone
words that
with
he said were beyond, like, death and life when your soul finally departs once and for all.
So if I sell my soul...
Normally those are still within
What if I
Dominar.
don't have one?
in another plane.
Technically speaking, you as a more demonic being, your soul is your physical existence too. As most outer beings, technically, their souls are literally their own, like a physical manifestation of their soul, rather than the soul inhabiting a body.
What we're getting at is there are loopholes.
There could be loopholes, but they're very difficult loopholes to exploit, I will say. Yes, there are loopholes, though.
Also, the hunters said they...
trying to find a loophole?
For kicks. It did say the hunters would come for our flesh and blood. I intend on replacing my body with metal.
Also,
a funny guy.
Technically, we could just get remove curse and it would be gone.
Yeah, cast by a powerful enough person. Yes.
Yeah.
Can we just take the damage? and like
No,
live
yeah.
through it, and then it's gone?
No,
but then
it
there's the
won't-
part about
the
the
spell
hunters
won't
coming to
actually
get-
go away. It'll just deal
Oh.
you the damage, and then the spell will still be on you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, all the more reason why I didn't want to do this.
and it's like 10d a lot.
I can survive.
You could roll all ones.
It is like
Or
a
just
lot d10
completely blow up.
that you take. So I mean,
I
could-
looked it up. Right now, I can survive.
if I roll the right amount, I could also like. Isn't it like?
If you roll max damage, I can survive it. I
Okay,
looked it
Ow.
she's a barbarian. She's a bajillion
up.
hit points.
I'm a barbarian.
Oh,
They get d12s for hit dice.
I have 39 health.
I'm at 45. I'm
I
probably
was
gonna get
very
blown up.
powerful.
I'm also at 45. We have the same
Hey,
health.
45 squad.
We have the same
I'm pretty
constitution.
sure Carrion is what? You're 60 something.
I feel like a rogue should have more HP than a bard, personally.
How many hit
I'm
points
at
do you have?
57 HP.
You're at 57. Was it
Yeah, but
5d10
what's
or was
your
it
con?
60?
It's 5d10. It's
Yeah,
5.
5d10. Yeah,
It's
so
5d10. I can survive it.
What's your con?
My con?
Plus 2.
Mine's
Mine is also +2.
Mine's +1.
We are a very constituted group.
yeah, you're a very tough physically group. It helps you out. All right.
Except me.
We don't get in a lot of fights.
Yeah, we really don't, actually. Very glad I went down a charisma route.
Don't think we've been in a fight since the boats.
Most of the time, you get in role-playing situations, and you don't get in, and you're actually pretty good at not pissing people off most of the time. You've gotten close, but normally,
Would we have
like,
had to fight?
their possibilities have existed.
Last fight was against the our doppelgangers.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yep.
You
And
went
like
before
a
that, I
lifetime
think
ago.
it was boats.
No, there was the frog monster.
Frog monster?
I'm sorry, the Othyak chameleon.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
And you did have the fight on the
But
boats.
that was in the same
area.
Like,
It was
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
dungeony area, so you did encounter multiple things there. It was like a kind of dungeon challenge area. So you also went through an illusionary trap and maze, which was another kind of thing that was kind of. It was a different type of combat, but it counts as a kind of a combat type encounter.
that was fun. I like that part,
Yeah.
actually.
Like traps and riddles technically count as combat type encounters because normally you face them in an area where you also have normal combat. It's dungeon kind of work most of the time. And you also did fight like drug dealers that were trying to kidnap Carrie.
They
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
drug dealers. They were cultists.
They were cultists.
That's true. They were cultists that were
They were-
associated with the drug dealer.
Yes.
And that
And
was
we
the
stopped-
time that Max almost let me get kidnapped.
Yep, and we'll never let them live it down.
One day. What if I save your life? Does that is there like a counter that kind of makes up for that? What do you mean no? Okay.
No, that man almost let
Look,
me get
it was a
kidnapped.
telltale game, and she remembers it all.
Essentially,
Remember,
it'll just, instead of being like a hey, you did this to me, it's hey, remember that time you did this to me.
And she'd
It'll
only-
just turn into a joke from an insult.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she'll
Okay with
only
that.
bring it up like, like as a passing kind of joke, like, hey, remember that time you almost sold me out to some cultists? Anyway, after the ritual kind of spells are complete on all of you, and you have this kind of like, and I will tell you, it did not feel necessarily pleasant. You didn't take any damage, but it was kind of like this, almost kind of like searing heat and pain around the spot where he was kind of touching and drawing. So it was like a minute of feeling that before like the circular like kind of symbol and rune in it was kind of complete. And like you didn't see it on yourselves, but when you saw someone else getting it, the intricate detail of what he was writing was insane. You know, like for like large hands, it almost looked like he was like using like the very tips of his fingers, which were almost kind of claw-like, to like draw this thing that had very like layers upon layers for like a small area, like kind of like this. You know, it's just like and very delicate work for someone of his age. And, falling apart. Yes. Grumble, grumble, damn kids off my lawn.
I'm
off,
older than
off
you.
my coral reef lawn.
Kelp
My
lawn.
Carl.
Get off my kelp lawn.
Get off my son named Carl.
Get off my son named Coral.
That can be
Wait,
taken in a few ways.
Coral. Coral. Get off my son named Coral.
Core.
He's been fighting zombies.
Thank you for catching what I was going for with that.
He lost an eye.
Yeah, he lost an eye at some point, and then I think he's.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I stopped.
Who knows anymore?
I stopped watching that like 4 seasons ago. So
Same.
I haven't watched the last season. I've been watching all the way up to that.
good.
After they got rid of Rick.
All I know is the guy who played Cyborg in Teen Titans has a tiger.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, okay. That always works.
Anyway, so when did we leave?
What most shocking deaths on Walking Dead ranked? It starts at number 63.
I just can't beat the statement of like the guy who played Cyborg in Teen Titans as a tiger. That's
He
a great,
does.
I know. It's still just a great statement.
He's
Yes.
awesome.
Anyway, so
The king is awesome, man.
you
So,
can leave
shall
anytime.
we,
I would leave as quickly as possible if you want to make sure to get information. Yes. We should probably inform the person who brought us here. I know that he's found other accommodations to stay within the city, which was kind of highly unusual. I think they've been living out of the submersible. Something about long-term staying in the city just didn't really interest him. But we should warn them that he can head back home without us, that if we return to Ovada, we will do it separately. I would wish to do that personally. I can go take care of that as the rest of you pack up, and then we can maybe meet back here in, let's say, a couple of hours.
That's fine. Also, you might want to visit the dockmaster and let him know that we're not going to need the entire month.
Well, I don't think he'll give us back the money, though. But we can cancel out the fact that we're leaving. I think that would be up to our associates once I told them they can leave. They might want to stay around if they have some more trade or anything to do. So if there's anybody you want to see, anything you want to do last minute, go ahead and do it. I'll go take care of that and pack my things and meet you back here.
I look at Max.
Anyone you want to do?
What are we talking about?
We're going to be leaving. Is there anyone you want to say goodbye to?
What? Yes, there is. Where's Otula?
You probably could have learned where she lives if you want to go visit her, actually, then.
I want to do that. Yeah.
I'll offer to help pack your stuff while you're visiting.
Thank you. If anyone else wants to accompany me, you're welcome to.
You deserve your private time.
Fair point. All right. I shimmy over there.
Okay. Hi, Max. What's going on?
Otula, I come bearing sad news.
Oh, what's going on?
Me and my friends are we leaving today or is it tomorrow?
In 2 hours.
Today.
Me and my friends are leaving in 2 hours from now, and it pains me to say that.
That's not a lot of time.
No, it's not. I was enjoying our underwater adventures together. It's cool seeing all the cool places and, sights.
Where are you going to next?
What did Nim say we're doing next?
We're going to Tolaria Under the Sea.
Further under the sea?
Tolaria Under The Sea.
Tolaria Under the Sea.
Remind me what that was? Oh, the Academy.
The Academy, yeah.
Well, we're heading to the Academy, and is she allowed to come with us? Would you have any interest joining us for that?
Oh, excellent. She's just going to go over and get bags of stuff apparently she had already prepared. I mentioned that she wasn't going to work the entire time with Carrie. She had already quit and was planning on coming with you.
Oh.
I'm excited.
Earlier on, she's like, so it's okay if I, come along with you guys, venture along with you guys when you go back
Are
to
we
the
just
service.
collecting companions?
Yeah, it's fun.
Max
I like
Max
that.
actually collected her. she asked things and he just went along with it, and she was actually asking.
I mean, first we get an angel girl. Now we got a merfolk.
Look, you have an angel girl that's
It's
really
fun. We got a harem.
We have a possible planeswalker. Nim.
Yeah.
Nim would be ecstatic to have
a
all these
powerful
ladies
angel
around.
that uses both like basically light and dark magic,
Yes.
and knows alchemy and poisons, and a merfolk warlock.
Oh God.
Tally
Hey,
ho,
warlock
Otula.
buddies.
To the academy we go.
I'm a part warlock too.
Yeah.
I offer to carry her bags.
Okay. Yeah. She's got a bunch of them.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to flex the bones.
Yeah.
You can
No.
flex
Stop
bones.
flexing your bones.
There's like after
Bones.
grabbing all her stuff, there is like a moment of like because it seems like her heart's her home is like I would call it like like akin to like an apartment. It's like a small place, or something like. She kind of seals up the door and then like just like after like a deep breath says like, "I'm ready to go."
Let's go, we shall.
Mm-hmm. See the world. I think
And see the world we shall.
all those stories my mom told me, all the books she ever read. It's one of those things that was great about the librarians. They got to read so much of the world itself. Now I'll get to see it at your side. She's gonna give you actually a big hug about this and be like, "Thank you."
Aw, I give her a hug too. It's a pleasure to have you by my side, Otula.
All right.
So
And here's
we've
to many more
gone-
cool adventures.
So just to get it straight, we've gone now from the Little Mermaid to Aladdin.
Basically.
I can show you the world.
Yes. Except you don't have a flying carpet yet.
Not yet.
No,
I
we'll
can
have a
build
flying
one, though.
ship. We'll have
I
a
find
flying
it funny
ship.
how well I find it really funny how well I get along with all the ladies, both Otula and Radian.
Well, you're
They
a
don't
bard.
find you threatening either.
Yeah, that's-
Radiant.
That's probably why.
Radiant is white and black mana, so she understands like the nature of having like a dark energy within you powering your soul. So she's very understanding of it. Lotula was probably kind of like a miffy at first, but you did pretty good at being charming when you first met her.
And we don't know what kind of pack she has.
I said what kind of pack she has.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
did mention she's a
So
warlock
she's
before.
like a
That's right.
celestial warlock.
Oh, that's right.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Also.
She's a pack with a being that serves her goddess.
Is it Saloon?
Yeah, Saloon.
Saloon.
Yeah. It might be pronounced slightly differently because I am bad at pronouncing things.
Yeah, I always thought it was Saloon because it has like that.
Yeah, I always
accent
thought it
of-
was Salune too. Salune. That's how our one friend used to pronounce it too.
But it's different because magic.
Well, anyway, I pack Max's and my stuff up.
Because it's really not Saloon, it's spelled the spelling of the goddess for the merfolk is Svyelun. Svelun.
Svalun.
Svalun.
Yeah, Svelun.
Svalun.
Goddess of the pearl
Svelun.
moon. I keep forgetting it has that V in there because it's so weird.
Yeah.
Svalun.
Yeah.
So, do I have our stuff packed?
Yeah, you can get your stuff back. I mean, probably you didn't really unpack a lot from your bags unless you
No.
because you were here for a
And
while.
Max and I don't need a lot of stuff in general.
Nah, not really.
I'm not quite dead.
Yeah, you're technically alive.
Only mostly dead.
I mean,
I
like,
can get better. I can take a pill laced with chocolate.
technically speaking, yes, everyone you're made of died, but they not died making you, so you're technically not dead. You're a combination of like lost souls.
Yes.
You're
Wait.
undead in the same way that Frankenstein's monster is
Wait.
undead.
Miracle Max, make me a miracle pill.
I don't know if I'm capable of that. I can play a song.
Look,
I'm only mostly dead,
mostly.
not completely.
Look, just like they mostly come at night. Mostly. They mostly come at night. Mostly. Anyway. So, yeah, you'll all assemble back in the building where you met with the Emperor. But rather than heading up, this time you are led into an entirely different chamber. Something that's actually very interesting, because what it is you'll actually step on a kind of like be led into a room that once you enter it, rather than going out, it looks like it's almost an air. But what happens is you kind of walk out to it, and each of you is surrounded by this kind of bubble of water as you move out into this chamber. That kind of moves with you as you move into it. The chamber is like kind of this kind of glass tube that leads to like a kind of crystalline half sphere. And on the bottom, there's this kind of strange circle with all kinds of intricate runes on it. As you step down onto the circle, you're all led onto that by a guard man, one of the guards, a soldier, a knight of Vidalia. And what happens is the circle begins to glow then, as then it almost feels like you hear this jarring motion, as then the circle begins to sink into the Leviathan. As you actually see as though like this bubble of water is still around you, but you see like the platform you're on and yourself, you literally begin to sink into the beast. You kind of phase down, almost becoming almost spectral, or maybe the path is spectral, down on this kind of like circular like cylinder down into the beast, where you can't really see outside of here. You just look and you see like this kind of darkness and kind of maybe blue flesh, where all there is that you can kind of vaguely see is this glow of the circle below you that seems to kind of semi-permeate all that is around you, similar to the fact that you're going down it. You can still tell there's this ball of water around you too. And after sinking down for like seems like a very long time, you'll emerge into this massive chamber. You'll see like the walls of the chamber kind of floating down will kind of stretch and move. And in this massive bubble of water that seems to be floating on this kind of like greenish yellow liquid. Anyone give me a nature check?
I can give a nature check. I'm smart. I'm a nerd.
That is not something I'm super proficient. Nope.
You realize
Distracted by the fact that it's water.
you realize you are in the stomach of the beast.
Lovely.
And you'll kind of float down into this like bubble of water, and once you kind of pierce into it, you begin to look inside, and there looks to be a like ancient temple in here. This will kind of float down, and you will arrive on a little platform on the outside of this temple. And as it kind of like the field around you, that like half circle that kind of was surrounding you kind of dissipates, and the bubbles of water will integrate with the water all around you now that brought you down here. And you find yourself in the belly of the beast. Probably the one place no one will look for a circle, a teleportation circle that travels between multiple locations in a giant leviathan in a protected area of its stomach.
I wouldn't think to look there.
I mean, it's probably one of the most hostile places you could look in the entire place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
You'll actually be led further in, like into this temple area, where you can see that there is a number of other people that seem to be prepping to depart. Some people that have arrived that are probably waiting to like take their turn to head up or down on that kind of transport that you were on. And eventually you'll be taken over to this massive, like metal gate. It currently is closed off. The easiest way to describe it is think like Stargate portal, because all like portal machines always have to have that like kind of circular like Stargate-y look to it, you know? It's one of those classic things. Though this is magic based, giant like portal gate. It's kind of built into the floor, so it doesn't quite do a full circle. It kind of does most of a circle. It's got intricate runes kind of written all over it. There's like a merfolk man there who's very human-like. He actually has, like, he looks a bit older. He actually does have what looks to be more like normal humanish facial hair. So he's got kind of like a little short kind of beardish thing that might, because again, like, being mostly human, he has kind of human hair. It's probably maybe a little bit more like scaly material when you really get into it, but you're not putting your hands through his wafty hair. Yeah.
Does he want me to?
You could. But not right now, he's busy.
After he gets done with his shift.
The knight will kind of give a bow, kind of putting his trident that he's been holding like in front of his, like kind of like front of him, kind of going like this. Gatemaster. These surface dwellers have received permission from the Emperor to traverse the gates. They'll be taken to Tolaria. Excellent. You will have to wait here. The gate is opened at different times in different places. Those that receive permission to travel through it must wait their turn. Please, wait with the other travelers. And you will be called on when it is time to head to where you need to go. And you'll notice that he'll, he'll call out places after certain points in time. Like, almost think of like you're in a little
train station.
Train station for portal. Train so, Elan Shis, those that depart through the portal, come now. And it seems as though like sometimes the portal will open up and he'll call people first to come through, and when the last one is through, it seems like he will use this kind of rod he has to almost send a signal through the portal, like an energy signal, and then people might come out of it the other direction. Sometimes people will come out from that direction first, and then he'll send people through. But you have to wait around here for a couple of hours. You can see that there is a large amount of traffic here going on. Maybe not like not a huge amount of cities worth, but it seems as though you can maybe get permission, or if you're a relatively important family, you might have permission to use these more often. That certain groups within the Vodalian Empire can have access to this. At one point in time, the portals opens, and a contingent of about 24 Vodalian knights come through. You'll see one of the men kind of like address the gatekeeper about the presence of you, actually, in which the gatekeeper will point at you and, you know, kind of say some things. Speaking in like probably the old merfolk language rather than in the common tongue. You'll get a kind of very dirty look from that man, as then he'll return to his group of troops.
I flip him off.
I'm gonna see if he understands that.
Let's hope not.
He just glares at you.
You have permission from the king. We have permission from the king.
To flip him off?
Now to be here. We haven't much of a right to be here with anyone else.
I got permission from the king to flip him off.
I have a license to flip.
Do 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 do. 006 with a license to flip. What happened to his license to kill? He traded it in.
It was redacted.
No, it's 005.
005.
5 fingers.
That's true.
Only need one.
Yeah. Okay, you can be 001.
And if I remember how the double O's work, that's the deadliest.
But eventually, though,
Deadliest
the man
flip
will
of
like
all.
call out, Tolaria.
Get up.
You will notice there is another familiar figure with you there. The man named Joda seems to have been waiting here too. You did not notice.
Familiar face.
Jerk face.
Yeah, it's the asshole.
As he kind of like notices all of you, he's just going to give out a sigh and kind of like shake his head for a moment. Ah, wonderful. So Nim, so you and your little entourage are coming this way too. Ah, yes. Quite. We have business in the Tolaria. Fine then. He's just going to ignore you after that and head into the portal.
As soon as he turns his back.
I mean, he wasn't technically rude to you, so I mean, you're just...
He's being oh, come on. He's giving jerk vibes.
Just because he's giving jerk vibes doesn't mean anything. You giving
Kind of means something.
Means a lot.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, is this better?
No, but we'll accept it.
Wait. Just in case, if he turns back around.
Is that a why?
Spaceballs.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
More
are
80s
all of you
movies.
going through the portal?
Yes.
No, we're staying here.
Okay. You've actually been probably relying on Nim's magic at this point in time. The good news is you haven't had to need freedom of movement. The bad news is, after freedom of movement ended and you didn't need it anymore, you've been having trouble moving around.
I
I
haven't.
haven't.
Yeah, 3 of you haven't. Well, 2 of you haven't. 1 of you kind of hasn't because you just sink anyway. Because he's all bone. So, like, 3 of you...
Actually, 3 of us definitely haven't because we also have Tula.
Well,
Yeah.
4 of your group have trouble. Well, Nim probably just cast it on himself again and doesn't see if anybody wants to ask him. He'll probably cast it on everybody again before you go through the portal, though. He'll be nice. While you were, like, sitting around, he let the magic fade.
Yeah. Well, we were moving around, so it's like, well, why do I need to concentrate on this?
Yeah. So, because you gotta cast it on you individually. And he has only so many spell slots, and he's used pretty much all of those up for now. Anyway, so you'll head in through the portal and find yourself in a kind of emerging into almost like a similar location. It seems like the ruins of a temple of some kind. Rather than like an actual underwater temple, it seems ruins of one. And it has like this kind of like staircase that leads downwards and then out over a long walk through what appears to be the ruins of some kind of civilization, with massive buildings ruined and destroyed, leading in a walkway. The man, Joda, who walked in before you, you see no sign of him. Nim will kind of turn to all of you and kind of point that you should follow the walkway. And you kind of walk down these stairs and kind of move along this long path. And as I said, at first it kind of like goes for a couple 100 feet from the outskirts of where these ruins are and into the ruins of all these buildings. This is like completely destroyed. The wreckage here is massive. Whatever happened here completely obliterated whatever this place was. And you can look up and you can see this is actually like you're on the bottom, but you're maybe only a couple 100 feet down. So you can see the surface and the shining sun still coming through here. You know, like 100 feet down, it's still getting that light coming down. It's a little darkened, but you can still see it. And you're still getting these rays of shine coming down upon all of you, giving this kind of like actual, like, as the surface moves, this kind of, like, cascading light kind of appearance that's very beautiful. And you can actually, like, as you begin to look, you can see how this place is actually, like, an artificial reef down here. That you can see there's all kinds of fish and animals traveling around at all places.
Ooh, sunlight. It's been a while. I'm going to point up.
Yeah.
Sunlight.
Mm-hmm. No more weird shrimp lamp. Are there still shrimp lamps?
You don't see any.
Actually, how does
This
Kula
actually
react to
does-
sunlight?
She's seen it before.
Okay, I wasn't sure if she's ever been.
Slinn Voda's depth varies
Right.
when it feels like going to. So it's,
Okay, I wasn't sure.
The ruins here do not look merfolk in nature. They do look like something you'd find surface-wise. There's a lot of stone structures.
Wasn't Tolaria? This was the original Tolaria Academy in sank, didn't it?
That's what they said. Tolaria Ruins. Where at the Tolaria Ruins is Tolaria Under the Sea.
Yeah. So that makes sense. It would be weird if it was merfolk construction.
Yeah. You'll kind of walk forward for a little while, and eventually you will see Nim disappear in front of you. As if he walked into something. Like, he walked into just nothingness.
Oh, well, I'm just going to follow along.
I'm going to poke my hand forward.
Your hand will disappear. Kazra will just go through.
Yeah, I'm just going through.
Same.
I have a guess, and it's, you know.
Yeah, well, I was just testing before walking through a weird barrier.
Nothing
I'll walk
ventured,
through
nothing
then.
gained.
When you kind of pierce the veil of this, like, field, within it seems to be, like, a maybe 40-foot tall combination of a tower and a kind of castle. You'll notice that there's, like, kind of, like, rather than a door in front of you, you'll notice it kind of will come up to this wall, and then there will be stairs that are leading downwards.
Are we still in water?
You're still in water.
Okay.
You'll kind of see Nim going down the stairs in front of you, and he'll kind of lead you down into this depth, which originally it'll kind of go straight down, but then it'll begin to curve, and you feel as though you're maybe curving around this entire tower, and it'll curve around all the way around, where it'll come to this kind of like landing chamber. That now you're underground in like stone all around you, still underwater, and there will be a giant set of metal doors with all kinds of runes and stuff in it. Nim is going to come up to it, knock, and then kind of wait for a second, and when the door will glow, Traveler, Nim Festina, friend of Tolaria, here to visit your libraries, accompanied by his associates. The doors will open, and you will see now, like almost like a shimmering veil is in front of you in the doors. Nim will walk through them.
I'll follow.
As soon as you move through, you are in air.
Whoa.
And I will change back to human.
Mm-hmm.
Put my hood down.
Put my royal garbs back on.
Just like change
Wait,
yourself.
you're just getting dressed in the
Get him out of my
doorway?
bag.
Oh,
Thank
wait.
In a,
Oh, wait, well, I guess my clothes meld in with me, so they meld back out.
I also
this area
I also
here,
brandish my rapier and like wave it around. It's like good old physics. How I love them.
what is in here is like the opposite of what you had. You kind of had that spiral staircase on the outside. This is a massive chamber with spiral staircases going around the inside of this tower that not only goes that 40 feet above, but seems to stretch hundreds of feet down below you. Every maybe like 30 feet or so are these kind of almost suspended floors where there's these kind of a walkway that'll lead out from stairs, as it seems like there's two set of spiral stairs on opposite sides so you can walk across to them. You can also see that all along the edge of it are these doors in the side of the academy. And these are like massive stone like squares in the center of this kind of tower that just seem to be able to be held up by these little thin strips of like stone, which kind of head over with railings. In the center of these, you'll see oftentimes like various, like the one that on your floor seems to be some kind of meeting area, where it seems like a number of people traveling from various places are coming together, greeting folks. A wizard will actually become, a spellcaster will come up to you and kind of go, "Greetings, Tolaria Under the Sea. Please come forward, and we'll register that you are here."
Thank you.
You can see like there's tables set up and like all kinds of furniture and stuff, little sitting areas. He's actually going to lead you to an area of a bunch of couches and stuff. You'll also find that you are perfectly dry once you pass through that portal.
Radical.
Yeah.
It's nice to feel dry.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to leave it off here with you waiting to get registered to being here in this like insane, massive kind of structure under the ocean. The tower that goes both above and below the ground.
Cool.
So,
Hell yeah.
yeah. There's some more libraries to check out, some more information to learn, and some shenanigans to be had, probably, because I know you guys.
Kegger!
Shenanigan is my middle name.
Come on, we're gonna have a frat party.
There needs to be Fawn's character, like the surfer dude from the Star Trek game. Or my my version of the Fawns that was a raccoon.
No!
Hey! Look,
We were all very successful.
Nothing's worse than the surfer dude Star Trek science officer.
Mikey was the greatest. Lieutenant Mikey. I go by Mikey. His real name was like, what did I have it?
Michelangelo the Ninja Turtle?
Lieutenant Tower. So, like, the captain would be like, Lieutenant Tower. And he's like, to everybody else, he's like, call me Mikey! And they're like, okay, Lieutenant Mikey. Hey! It's time to go surfing!
On the holiday.
He surfed
on the holiday.
Yeah, that's what he did. He did surf programs on the holiday. He's a California boy. Anyway, but yes.
And while listening to the Beach Boys.
Yes, it was classical music. I love saying that. It's so silly. Anyway, hey everybody, thank you for joining us today. We had a lot of good times. We learned some interesting information, and you went from on the back of a giant Leviathan to magic school. Like the last school you got had magic in it, but it was practical because it's in a merchant country. And they're practical. You're now at the Undersea campus. They're going for crazy.
Whee!
Yes!
This is gonna be rad as hell.
This is where Carrie needs to study.
Oh, she didn't roll.
This is where Kaz is going to go insane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already insane.
Yeah. It's like this massive, like, undersea, complex that, like, goes under the ground with all kinds of, like, side chambers, hauled out with magic. Like, if you ever get to Tolaria West, it's effectively, like, think of, like, one of the modern-day, like, large academies, where it's almost like a small city academy.
Yeah,
That's what
what's that
Tolaria
like?
West is like. It's much more, it's like, so it's the biggest, it's much more insane in size. Hopefully you can see that one. But anyway, hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. It was a good one, it was some interesting stuff, learned some interesting folks, got a new friend. You now have 3 compatriots, though one of them's technically your employer.
And he's probably eventually going to separate ways.
Yes, he will separate ways, but you have 2 others that might be willing to stay with you for some time.
It'll be interesting to have a merfolk dragging around her tail on land with us.
She's slow.
I can build her legs.
All I'm picturing you is Professor Farnworth in goblin form. Or actually, no, not wait, not Farnworth. What was the other one?
I do
his
not.
nemesis.
You've lost me.
He's making a Futurama reference.
He made a fish that could walk on land using robotic legs and a suit.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the guy's name is.
Or I'll just build like a walker thing, similar to like my turrets.
I could also just have her learn a spell here that would just be helpful. That's technically from Pathfinder, but I could totally just pretend that it's also in Dungeons & Dragons here. Called Fins to Feet. It's an actual merfolk spell from Pathfinder.
Well, we're at a magic college.
Mm-hmm.
We can find something.
That's under the
not
sea.
important.
That might have actual merfolk going here anyway, so maybe magic is needed.
Yeah, they probably have some.
Mm-hmm. They probably have, like, their rooms are, like, underwater, but then they're like, oh, we have to go to a class. Feet.
Tail feet.
Yeah. Anyway, but let's give some outros where people can find you, information about you, etc., etc. We'll do our normal reverse order. So, of course, we start with Mads, who's been playing Carrion today.
And while I am here, on Wednesdays, Fish and I are, I'm running the game. Fish is one of the players. We're on, actually, Tiv's channel, Tavalic, because I have the Internet of Potato, uncooked potato. So, Tiv's been streaming it for me. It's a modern version of 5th edition D&D. It's a lot of fun. So, go to Tiv's channel to check out my
Fun.
Hey, I run a channel on Tantus's, or I run a game on Tantus's channel, so it's not that weird.
It's not that weird, but still, it's like, it's because I have a potato for.
Yeah, potato
Maybe
internet's like
are
that.
you sure it's a potato or is it a potato?
Fish.
No, it is an unwashed potato.
Unwashed potato. But anyway, Fish.
Hi, I'm Fish. I'm in that game that was just mentioned. Otherwise, you can find me outside of your local Pete's Cafe. If you're in Chicago, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But otherwise, you probably don't.
So it's really if you're in Chicago, people can find you, you know, but...
Yes, specifically in Chicago.
Specifically Chicago. Lee.
Hey guys, I'm just Lee Belmont, your noble vampire hunter. I stream games on Twitch, similar to Tantus, and I do a lot of speed runs. I'm on a quest to learn 100, and lo and behold, I'm at 95 out of 100, so I'm almost there. Thank you. So hopefully I'll do it in due time. Oh, and the last game is gonna be Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix on the hardest mode.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Okay, Joe.
You'll find me here on Tantus's channel. I'll be here Saturday for discussing tabletop, and then Sunday for my game Grinding Gears, which we are going to be going weekly after this week. So you'll find us every Sunday now.
Yep. Cool. Myself, Lindsay's not here, but she'd probably give some kind of shout out or insult. I'm not sure which. You never know with her.
You're a poo-poo head.
Exactly. I thought it would be doo-doo head because that seems to be the normal one she goes for.
I switched it for.
She'd probably just say you're stinky.
That's true. She would say you're stinky. As for myself, though, Tolaria Under Dracovin, I'm here very often. I know there hasn't been gaming streams this week just because I'm probably not going to do any more RimWorld. I kind of got fed up with some of the things with it. I like it, but my game, I don't have the weapons, and I haven't gotten the weapons to fight the things that they're throwing against me. So that's that. Or I might just give it a break for a while. I got some ideas, and I might run an extra gaming stream tomorrow. For role-playing stuff, if that's what you're more interested in, because I'm sure most of you are more interested in that. Yes, discussing tabletop, as Joe mentioned, along with Grinding Gears. I will be back and doing this game next week, 8 p.m. EST. Same time, same place every week. I should be having my 2 games on Tuesday, Records of Evil and Legacies of Kain at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. EST and 2 p.m. EST respectively. I'm not sure what's going on for Divinity 2 after discussing tabletop this weekend, because if we don't have Tiv, we're probably not playing. If his computer is still derped, same like, I don't know if he's showing up for Grinding Gears or not. We'll find out. If his computer's no longer derped, because apparently it had some problems as of Monday.
Yeah.
Either way,
we'll still have Grinding Gears.
Yeah, it was Mike.
His mic stuffed up.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Which is why we didn't play yesterday.
yeah.
It's true.
But anyway, we'll find out what's going on. I will be planning like some more RPG related stuff with me. I keep saying it, but I am like going to be working on that soon. So keep that in mind, that if there's some either new RPG announcements here for on the channel, or if I join something, I'll throw it out on Discord and Twitter. You know, I do want to join some more games at some point too. It's fun being a player, not just running them. But anyway, I think that's all the little shout-outs from my end here. Remember, check all the links below, check out all these people, and hopefully you're going to have a great rest of your Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy. Or if it's Friday for you, depending on where you're at, hopefully it's a good Friday very early in the morning, because what are you, in Europe? Yeah, it's really early. And probably get some sleep then. Jeez. But either way, till next time, bye everyone!
Bye.